Hello, hello, people.
What is up, everybody? How's it going? I regret to inform you. I don't think Travis was going to do this, which is fine. To each their own. But Brendan and Brian have both they've both died. Uh, they died together.
Tragically.
Yeah, yeah. It was a sort of a freak accident, uh, mutual autoerotic asphyxiation, and
Yeah,
which
it was
which like
beautiful, actually.
you it is beautiful. It's a beautiful way to go out, but you rarely see it. So apologies for that. But me and Travis are holding down the fort this week, and I believe we got a special guest on the line.
Here he is.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Hey, can you guys hear and see me okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear you great. Yeah, yeah.
We don't
Fantastic.
see Bill at the moment, but we
We
can
don't see
figure that
me?
out as we go.
No,
No,
we
you're
don't
just a
see you, Bill.
box.
Well, my camera's gone. It's on. I can see me on my
That's
end.
weird.
I see me on the stream on my. Should I try
You
refreshing?
see you on. That's funny. Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll check. We'll check what the internet says. But
So
yeah,
I was gonna
thanks for
say,
doing this, Chris.
oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. I was excited to get the ask to jump in and fill in. And
All
yeah,
right.
we're all at the mercy of our fantastic internet provider, Spectrum. And so, what could possibly go wrong here?
Word on the street is that I can get Verizon out this way now, out in Tatnick.
Ooh.
So I
Mhm.
might be making that hot swap.
So you still can't see me, huh? You're still-
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Epic.
Hold on. All right. How about now? So no. All right. I probably just have to come back in. Give me a second.
Yeah, do your thing. And in the meantime, I'll talk to Chris about what are you excited about on tonight's agenda?
Man, there's so much to be excited about on tonight's agenda, Travis. You know, tax rates are always a really, really fun and very serious conversation that we have in the city.
legitimately.
We're definitely very mature about how we talk about it, and
There he is.
hey, we got
Okay.
Bill.
All right. Okay. As always, my grand plans to do something crazy with the audio video setup just didn't work. So we're gonna have to go back to the analog lap seal on the channel. But sorry, Chris, I interrupted you. What are you excited about?
No, I would. I'll just finish the thought and say, yeah, I'm always excited about residential and commercial tax rates. That's always like a very adult conversation that we have in a very adult way.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about the city manager's contract, including this awesome poison pill stuff that's been coming out, where there's stuff in there that like he is mandated to be paid $10,000 more than any other city employee, which
Yeah.
sounds legally a little dicey.
Dubious. I mean, it's a nice
Yeah.
gig if you can get it. Shit.
Yeah, I was
It's
really
always
struck
working
by
in the law department.
I was really struck by that too, Chris. That I don't know if that's been in past contracts, but it says that like the city has to automatically pay him more, like to re-sign the lease basically on the city manager if somebody comes within the $10,000 range of him. Yeah, and Epic's right. The $1,500 a month car stipend, which is actually like, if I remember correctly, Ed Augustus like had a personal car bought for him by the city. So I don't know. I mean, if $1,500 can go towards insurance, car payment, repairs, anything in this contract. So I mean, that's a pretty nice car payment. You can get a pretty nice car for $1,500.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going over $300,000, which is a lot of money. That is a lot of money for one person to be making. I don't see anybody fucking making a stink about it though. Like, I think it passes with unanimously, like with little conversation, I'd say.
Yeah, I really don't know. I thought the point that Nicole Apostola brought up on Twitter or X, the Everything app, today about you know wages in terms of gender discrimination and things like that was a very interesting one that I hope that there's some plucky attorneys that are thinking about looking into what happens if a city pays a man and says that it is impossible for a woman to be paid less than less than $10,000 less than that man. So that's an interesting thing to think about.
That I didn't think about that at all. Probably because I'm a chauvinistic pig, and that's an extremely interesting thing. Because like what if like it costs that much to keep the superintendent, for instance, who is objectively a better, more competent, and more valuable administrator than the city manager? Like,
I believe also manages a larger budget.
Right, yeah, right. Like, what does actually? That is a good point. If you take away the police and the schools, there's really not that much budget left. There's not that much bureaucracy left to oversee. That's very interesting. But we have to pay Eric Batista because he's so qualified, right?
He's a big bad city daddy. He needs to be paid.
He's so. I mean, like we looked far and wide across the country for the best city manager Worcester could possibly get, and no one in the extensive interviews that we did was better than Eric Batista. So,
it turned out the right guy was in the building the whole time.
Wow!
And, this definitely isn't like some kind of like weird murder-suicide pact where we make it impossible for him to be able to operate outside of council's strings, and also impossible to fire him.
Right, but you got to think about the Economic Development Coordinating Council.
It's true, we do.
They can't be a public body, right? But they can't also have less power than the city council. So that'd be kind of tough to explain to like a newcomer. So you kind of need someone in the family, so to speak, for that to continue to function the way that it does. So, I mean, I think it's valuable that we're paying so much money to make sure that the real powers of Worcester City government are in a unelected and unaccountable body. I think that's really a smart move, and it's done great for us so far. I mean, Polar Park's paying it for itself.
Mm-hmm.
There's downtown is bustling and booming. Restaurants aren't closing. Yeah, so it's all going great. It's all going great. Oh, wait. Are they doing the Star Spangled Banner?
Not yet.
Oh, wait,
there is a hot mic. We have a little bit of background audio.
Wait, can you hear this? Is it coming through?
Yes.
Like, as loud as my voice, or just like a little bit?
It sounds like maybe it's coming through from your voice mic.
Okay. All right. I get I was trying to throw all my audio through GarageBand so I could put crazy effects on my voice and on the lap steel, but my computer didn't want to let me do that. So I got to do this analog. I'm prepared. Bill's lap steel corner, the national anthem. So.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah. So
that's better than the recording.
Yeah, we got to play them with their chests to it. We got to play the video, but not the audio, so that they can be saluting me.
Deal.
I picked the right night to start sniffing glue.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep.
I only got hand cream, but it's about the same.
Well, you'll be in need of that once you're done with my Star Spangled Banner rendition. Tell you what. Just make sure you keep it below.
If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star Spangled Banner.
Here we go. Oh, I'm so excited. We got a packed room. Who is going to get assaulted today?
All of us, if Louis Ojeda's PowerPoint.
Oh, God.
He wants more people to give PowerPoints.
Did you see that, Chris?
I did.
Louis
Yeah.
Ojeda wants more PowerPoints. I don't think anybody in the world besides him.
This is
has
your
ever
shop,
asked
Bill.
for- Oh, yeah. Mute it. I didn't prepare it in the same key. I'm losing the plot. Big finish.
Play ball.
Big finish.
Gonna do a roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Here.
Councilor Calorio,
I got nervous.
Councilor Ojeda,
Here.
Councilor King,
I was like, shit, I'm not actually
Carlson.
as good at this as I think
Councilor
I am.
Nian,
Nah, it was pretty good, man.
I thought it was great.
Here.
I'm gonna get better
Russell,
as
here.
as
Councilor Toomey,
as I do that every week. You know, it's all about repetition.
Here. Okay.
Whenever
we
you
have
need the
progress.
citizen
proclamation
petition
give,
to
along with,
make that the
resolution
official
11
recording that is played, I will file that so fast.
Working on my Mariah Carey.
Commemorating the Albanian Declaration of Independence from the Ottoman Empire on November 28th, 1912. Council Hagi and Council Calorio. Council Hagi.
I feel like I have a weird fisheye lens
Thank you,
thing
Mr. Chair.
going on.
Just wanted to thank the Albanian community for a beautiful ceremony, and just wanted to thank
Oops.
you, Mayor Petty, for honoring our community. And it's a beautiful sight to have all of the black
Oh,
and
that's
red,
why.
which represent a lot of our heritage and our
Wow, I
flag.
just
So
figured out I
a
can do
special
this.
shout out to Greg and to Franklin for keeping us organizing this event every year, and I look forward to the next year.
I just wanted to say thank you again for everyone showing up, and I feel honored to be part of our community.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but Katie insisted on
Thank
being
you.
part of the program, so she hung up her tattoo banner surrounded by
That's gnarly.
Christmas lights.
I as well. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't sure if my name was called. I just had a...
Katie Nowig, everybody.
No, I appreciate it. I have many students that are Albanian, and they're always near and dear to me. So
Was that Chamber?
I actually, one wasn't able to make it.
Chamber.
So I FaceTime them so you can see the raising of the flag.
Meeting
So,
is
yeah,
super
I appreciate
quiet.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, I turned him up a little bit.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Stop licking my hand.
Okay,
dog.
we'll take a roll call on the resolution. I'll read the proclamation.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes,
Councilor Ojeda,
Yes.
Councilor King,
This is going to be,
Councilor
as a
Carlson?
program, I
Yes.
believe this is going to be our
Councilor
third
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda,
tax rate
Yes.
setting.
Pasillo,
The Super
Yes.
Bowl of the
Councilor
City
Russell?
Council.
Councilor Toomey,
Um,
and Mayor Petty.
what will
Yes.
they do? Will they arbitrarily
Whereas
pick one
the
in the
popular
middle?
celebration known
Yes.
as Flag Day is
That
held
is what
annually
they
within
will
the
do.
Albanian community as a means of commemorating November 28th, 1912.
The
A significant date in the Albanian history. On this day, the Albanian leader
Patel has an
Ismail
order on
Omali
about,
raised the Albanian flag in the
parking
port city
minimums,
of
which
Wari, Albania,
might
proclaiming
prove
Albanian
interesting.
independence after 500 years of Ottoman.
I have a
Turkish
feeling that Mo
occupation.
Bergman will
And
reflexively.
whereas the conquest
talk
of
shit on
Albania
that,
by the Ottoman Empire and its
in the
rule
name
of
of the
nearly
free
5
market.
centuries brought great suffering to the Albanian people and caused enormous destruction of their country's economy, commerce, art, and culture. In light of all that
yeah, but
Albanian
that's-
people have endured throughout
Did you guys see
history,
those free
the
free
actions of
pickle
resistance
free
fighters in
pickle
defiance
shirts?
of the
I did.
Ottoman
It's so
rulers
stupid.
were
Like,
partially
bro, he's free.
motivated by the
it was
defense
just a
of Christian
summons.
faith in the
He
Albanian
doesn't have to do
freedom.
shit till January,
And
He's gonna
whereas
have
the
to
city of
pay a
Worcester
fine,
is
probably.
fortunate to be home to a thriving population
which is
of
insane
Alba-
because you
Albanian
assaulted
Americans
another
who
human being.
contribute to the many
Yeah.
aspects of life in Worcester and throughout
Yeah,
the nation.
in like a
and have
hilariously
found success
niche,
in various
like,
areas of professional endeavor
like
and cultural
unprecedented
interest. It is
way.
therefore fitting that all Worcester residents join the Albanian American
It's
community to celebrate
it's one of the
112
weirdest
years of
things
independence
that's
and
ever
knowledge,
happened in this
the
city,
historical
and that's
significance
really
of a proud
saying
day that
something.
symbolizes
Yeah, I
freedom
know.
I just
and optimism for Albanians both here in the United States and their homeland. Now, therefore, I, Joseph M. Petty, and the Worcester City Council of the City of Worcester proclaim November 26, 2024 as Albania
Last week
Independence Day in the
with
city of
just
Worcester.
like
Encourage all
the two things happening at the
residents to
same
recognize
time,
and
the Polar
participate
Park,
in its observance.
the Polar Park deal
We have
falling apart, and
Councilor
David Webb
Ojeda,
getting
Councilor
spray
Corio
painted.
come up here
It's
and
like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
proclamation.
this is the most Worcester week of all time.
maybe I shouldn't say this, but it's public record, so I will. Not John Piccolo's first
Great.
assault and battery charge, by the way, according to the court records.
Interesting. Someone texted me saying that he lit off fireworks at a golf tournament for the sheriff's office, like twice, and got chased out by groundskeepers. So
I don't know. I don't know who here is a Trailer Park
Councilor
Boys
Bergman?
fan. I hope the answer is everybody.
Councilor
yeah,
Corio?
me.
Yes.
But man, that
Yes.
article
Councilor
from
King?
2016
Yes.
that was
Councilor
linked
Carlson?
in the
Councilor Nguyen?
Telegram.
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda?
Like there was an article about his,
Yes.
you know,
Councilor
being,
Yes.
I guess,
Russell?
having
Yes.
warrant or
Councilor
now a
Toomey?
summons
Yes.
issued.
And Mayor Petty.
Yeah.
And there was
Yes.
an article linked to
So
it from
before we go to-
2016 that had a picture of John
the,
Piccolo, and
public
everybody
participation,
at
there's a
some
couple
point
announcements.
should go look at that picture
Ken
in that
Carlson's
article
phone 7A
and tell me
through
that
which
he
is the
does
tax
not
rate
look
items.
like Ray
Um,
from Trailer Park Boys,
I'm going to hold the manager's
like
contract of 14A.
restaurateur brother, because I really think he does.
7A through 7C. Also going to hold the budget adjustments. We need 4
One
votes
second.
for that. That goes with
Oh
the
my
tax
God,
rate,
he
so
looks
we'll hold
just
that.
like Ray
We'll-
in that
we'll do a
picture.
roll call on that. That is item 18D.
Wow.
that Ricky's dad?
18D, Councilor Bergman?
Yeah.
Councilor Colorio?
Yes, Ricky's
Councilor
dad.
Ojeda?
Ricky's dad. Go down
Councilor
and
King?
go down and get us some. Give me some
Yes.
chicken fingers. The
Councilor
good kind.
Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Not those nuggets.
Councilor Ojeda?
Way of the road.
Yes.
Way of the road.
Councilor
Way she goes,
Councilor
Bubs.
Russell?
Sometimes she
Toomey?
goes, sometimes she doesn't go.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes, and also the transfer of Seaver Street, we're going to table that. We need a roll call on that.
Damn,
Roll-
if
that's
Candy's
eight-
holding the
that's
tax rate stuff, we're not going to have much to do. Did that just
Roll
happen?
Councilor
I think
Bergman?
so.
Okay, good.
Councilor Colorio?
Yes.
There's going to be a short meeting.
Yes.
Councilor King?
That's okay with me.
That's totally fine with me.
Councilor Merrill Carlson?
I got shit to do.
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda?
Yes.
Councilor Basillo?
Yes.
I
Councilor Russell?
learned recently that
Councilor Toomey?
Councilor Nguyen has not
Yes.
been
Mayor
going
Petty.
to the
Yes,
meetings
to go on with
because
the
of they've
manager's
been receiving
contract, the
death
holding of
threats
that, just,
and some
I'm gonna
other
ask for an executive
nasty
session.
messages.
Hereby convening an
Oh,
executive
damn.
session. That's December
I
10th,
didn't hear about
2024
that.
meeting for the purpose of conducting contract negotiations. Of
That's no
Rick
good.
Eric
They haven't-
Batista, the city
They haven't been in the
manager,
chamber in a few
along
weeks.
with the other terms of the contract as recommended by the Standing Committee of Municipal Operations.
That's
Not good.
And the city will
it's
convene
not
an
good.
open session.
I wonder if Joe Petty will condemn that as violence and hate, or
All set?
he'll just like.
Can you just
Bill,
repeat
that sounds
Joe,
like
that was
something you
held, right?
probably caused.
Yeah, we held that, but I'm going to ask for an
Yeah,
executive
it's my
session
fault.
for the next meeting.
It's my
with
fault.
that.
Did you hear that it's also my fault that David Webb got spray painted?
Okay.
I did. That's why
Really?
I was wondering. I haven't seen your apology yet, and so you just might want to wrap this all into it.
Right. Yeah. For sure. For
thank
sure.
you.
Yeah. Everything bad that happens is
We're
my
on the
fault.
public participation.
You know,
The person
and
may
it's
speak
like-
I mean,
no
there's
more than
that.
2 minutes, and the AM
And,
will
and you
appear
know
on
what?
the agenda.
You know what I'm also
City
doing
names,
is
city
like
residence, Item
rooting
number.
for Polar Park to fail because you know it's here. So we need to do everything we can
Speaking
to
on item 8M, a petition
yeah.
I had submitted to
make it
ask
successful.
Bobby
the
Bellata.
City Council to develop a master plan for Lake Park. I've lived in that area pretty much my
Love you,
entire
Rob.
life. This past summer, I started a group called Friends of Lake Park, group of residents and neighbors that are interested in developing, improving, preserving Lake Park. So it's been one of the, the city portion owned area of Lake Park on the, the backside of Buffoni Skating Rink. It's actually 75 acres. So we wanted to bring this to the city council, ask if we could develop a master plan to, whether it's including trails or improving grounds. But a lot of people really frequent the park. It's a great piece of green space for the city. So we wanted to see if we could work on just improving it and preserving it. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just have one more announcement before the next speaker. We have Troop 37 in the back up there from Christ the King Church. Marty Shanahan, the Scoutmaster. Thank you for being here and observing the council meeting. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, you poor kids.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God! Imagine they showed up for the Palestine meeting. That would have been awesome.
Or the David Webb got spray painted meeting. Really,
Last week,
you know?
it would have been more interesting.
They're asking for a report for the TIF.
Imagine their Alice training
projects
kicked in and they just
being
fucking
out of
swarmed that guy.
compliance. I'd just like to know how, in God's name, in this city,
Is he wearing puka
that
shells?
operates millions upon dollars, and TIF is giving out house, anybody could
Fred
be
Nathan's
out
got
of compliance, and if they are,
Puka shells on there.
I think you're gonna take the TIF away from them. In fact, I would actually like to see.
What if they
TIFs
cancel the
being
TIF
given
themselves?
to small businesses and not always big businesses.
I prefer
That's another
JPEGs.
story.
TIFFs tend to be kind of bigger in
9E.
file size. I
Yeah.
really only use them when I'm printing.
At
No one
what
can really
point
even
do
agree
we
on how to
lose
say the
ability
name. Is it a
to
TIF or
do
is it a
anything with the ARPA
fifth?
funds if we, I mean, there must be a drop dead date where that has to be in stone that we're gonna do something with this ARPA money. And I think it.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Given the financial complications that there must be
Complications.
in operating a city of this size, if we end up losing money because we can't figure out what to do with it, then that's even a sadder sight.
All right. Single issue city council stunt candidacy
started my
run.
timer.
9M.
Gonna make Fred Nathan the city manager.
I've never really heard of this before, but
I no joke will
filler
sign papers for
is
Fred
not
Nathan if he runs for
available
council.
to residents of private streets.
He's
Just
perfect.
curious why
He's
that
been
is
the
case,
12th counselor
because
for
it should
a number
be.
of years.
I'll
He's
sign
so
papers
passionate
for
about this
anybody,
city.
basically. Yeah, I'll sign papers for anybody for the record, but I'll sign for Fred
Um,
for sure.
At some point in time, if the speed limits really do change.
The
in
more
the
I've learned
city,
about what it means to be a city
I
councilor,
don't
yeah,
really
I wish
know
that on
how
all
you're
the
gonna
people I
really
don't care
be able
for.
to enforce it unless
Yeah.
everyone stops
It's
driving.
like-
and the city council starts
We've been seeing
taking
pretty much for the
a
past 3 years that you really
WRTA
can't
every
do
night,
anything productive
But I don't foresee that
as a city
happening. So at
councilor.
some point,
You're just gonna rub up against like
they got to get rid of the
immovable
distracted
dome over
drivers
Worcester if you
who
try.
might be putting on their makeup
So-
or on a cell phone or whatever.
City council filled with
Wrap
Fred
up the comments.
Nathan's
People aren't
just
really
would
going
be
that fast because
fucking
of all
awesome.
the distractions that are causing all these problems.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
just get
And
weird.
Just one more thing.
Can you wrap up your comments,
Yes,
please?
I can. In whatever conversation you have with the city managers,
There's more than
giving him a
one?
pay raise, I just want to make everyone clear of something.
Thank you.
I don't know if
appreciate
it's part of a thing that's in the,
Cut his mic.
in the general laws here of the
Cut
city.
his mic.
But the city manager
Thank you,
has
Fred.
to make at
Right.
least $10,000 more than
Thank
the
you.
next highest
Isn't
employee.
it?
I want people to remember that.
Cut
Does
his
this
mic.
does this sound
What's
like
your name,
cast
city
me out?
residence, item number?
Hi, my name is Oliver Chadwick. I'm a Worcester resident.
Oliver.
I'm here to
Oliver!
support item 10B, asking the manager to draft ordinances related to two now next recommendations: reducing or eliminating parking minimums and reforming tree protection requirements. Mr. Mayor, let's be very clear about what
Are they
this
passing
is.
joints?
This item is for us to open the conversation on these
so
topics. The
think
council
it's
has
just
asked
a
the city
pen.
manager to draft proposals, and then the council will be able to discuss and vote on them later.
Fred passed a pen to
The now next project
Bruce.
calls for parking minimums to be reduced.
I
in order
guarantee
to
Why do I
know
facilitate
all these
growth that is
people?
needed over the
Bo
next
Bergman is
few
going to
years.
try to reflexively file this just
Parking
because
minimums
Oliver got
cause
up and spoke
excessive
about it.
parking to be built. Bigger parking lots yield sprawl.
Fred
and more
Nathan
buildings
and
isolated
Idella
from roads
Hazard
and
sitting
sidewalks.
next to each other at council
This
is
gives us-
like,
this gives us a city
I don't
where
know what it
everyone
is,
has to
but
take
like,
take a car for
man,
every trip.
God bless
Each of
America.
those unnecessary spaces adds cost that is passed on to renters.
It's a
and
love
homeowners.
story.
This is
Maybe
totally
just
out of
say
step
yes, you
with
know?
our housing production goals, the Now Next project, the mobility action plan,
Yeah,
and the
for anybody
Worcester plan.
coming in late, we got our buddy Chris Robards
Several
coming in.
councillors recently reminded us when we discussed gas
Both
stations
Brian
that
and
we live in
Brendan
a
melted,
capitalist market
informed
system,
Chris
and
Robards.
that it was
So
important to let the market decide
we're here
what needs to
partying
be
tonight.
built. I hope they will bring that same energy to this discussion. It would seem bizarre to make that argument and also to force property owners to provide parking when the market doesn't demand it. And if you disagree with me about what's needed, then you should have no problem removing the requirement and letting the market decide. Many cities and towns around the country are completely eliminating parking requirements, and many more are liberalizing the requirements. I urge the City Council to vote to have the city manager draft the ordinance and open the conversation.
Liberalizing? No
Let's
thanks.
not waste the huge amount of time, money, and effort that went into the Now Next project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should just like
Next speaker.
repackage abolishing single-family zoning and parking minimums as like the ultra magnification of
Yes to
cities.
10B, David Webb, City of Worcester. Yes to 10B, 10C, and 16H. Regarding 9H and 9I, is this city really about to regulate massage parlors and spas more than it ever did deceptive crisis pregnancy centers? Conservative values in full view, I guess. On the same note, not to belabor my points from the last 3 meetings, but can we make sure the city solicitor brushes up on employment law too? By automatically paying our manager more than anyone else, it seems we may be in violation of Massachusetts employment law, not just common sense. Worcester isn't safe, it isn't organized, it certainly isn't well managed. It just keeps the powerful powerful. I am here in strong opposition to item 14A, not just for your failure to condemn political violence after my civil rights were violated not 50 feet from here, but for letting your
David
conservative
Webb.
values direct the city. Through the chair to Eric Batista, I know none of this is your fault, but it is all your responsibility. You acknowledge the responsibility, you articulate it, but it never actually turns into accountability. Your complacency with violence is concerning, and your priority on protecting the narrative is problematic.
Oh, New Hampshire guy's here. He looks
If you
rough
addressed
today.
systemic
Yeah,
problems
Bruce is
instead
feeling
of
it today.
social media posts, maybe things would actually be improving around here. The terms required to extend this contract tell us that you don't even want this responsibility. If you need more than 300,000 reasons to help us, then maybe Worcester should take this opportunity to do what it should have done in the first place, an actual search. Furthermore, if WPD can't protect people at a place they're assigned to be or arrest someone for hate crime in our city hall, then what is their point? I just want to get out there and say, I know I'm obnoxious, but violence is wrong. Violence is wrong. And it's really
Ooh,
disappointing.
the guys
that
who
the
look
majority of
like
this council
toes
cannot
behind
agree
him
with
do
that.
not like this line of questioning.
I want to be proud of the city. Right now, I'm ashamed of it.
The
This is
toe men
not
are
an
angry.
administration I can be
The
thankful
toe men
for
are
this week.
angry.
Next speaker.
I don't know
I
who this guy in the
understand.
rail is, but
Just bring down the mic.
Idella Hazard, City of Worcester, 9E for the Opera Rescue Plan. The rescue plan originally was to help neighborhoods that were sort of like slums, with people who were out of work that were in need.
I don't.
It wasn't
not
for
really-
the Science Center or for the Hanover Theater. Those organizations reach middle and upper middle class people. People in my neighborhood cannot afford to take their
I
children.
knew I
out of
recognized that guy.
those
Things
places.
troubler.
Now, we had a couple of organizations last week coming and saying that they wanted the money to feed people.
That wasn't last week.
And I think I had mentioned that once
Good
people
call, whoever noticed that Ted
get
Costas is
behind,
behind
it's
Adala.
very, very
I hadn't
difficult
noticed
to
that, but
catch
you
up.
are right about that.
And it's
One of the
called
dumbest human
rescue
beings I've
plan.
ever encountered.
And it's
He
to
ran
rescue
for
needy people
D5
that
a couple
suffered
years ago, if I remember
during
correct.
the COVID.
I could tell you
outbreak.
stories that I won't right now. I served on
They
a
didn't
city
get the money that
commission
they
with Ted
needed.
Costas. Let me just say
Okay.
that.
It went to
Nice
middle
guy,
and upper middle class
interpersonally,
people.
one of
And
the
money
dullest
they-
human beings
they
I've ever
told
met in my
was
life.
already allocated.
I mean, he's
It
on the
doesn't make
Republican
sense.
City Committee.
I got opera money because I
So-
needed it, and I was treated.
Oh, Chris,
like it
did
was
you
a
hear about
loan.
our plan to do a what's it called? A
That's
hostile
not what
takeover of
opera's
the
about.
Republican City Committee
Somehow,
and reform it
the
in our
city
image?
got
I did
confused.
catch a bit of that, and I think
with
it is a
what opera
fantastic
money
plan.
is about.
And I think that's
The
probably
other
about all I
issue
should
I
say
wanted
on a
to
public
speak
live
on
stream.
was the HERO program
Okay.
Yeah,
for our
you know,
veterans.
Yeah.
when
Can you wrap
when
up
the
comments?
Yeah, I'm
when the
going
signal
on
fires
anyway, so
start
please,
burning,
it'll just
I'll
take a
be there.
minute. Our heroes
We
are
have like 10 to 15
our veterans
seconds.
are our heroes.
The
And I
Republican
would
City
like to
Committee
give
calls
them
for our
a
aid.
couple of seconds, if I
And
might.
the Commenters
I'd like
Union
to
will answer.
say thank you to Councilor Toomey for bringing this to the table. Our veterans are worthy, and they should be included. And we
Wrap
should
it up.
Thank you.
look into this and make sure
I appreciate
that
it.
they
Thank
do
you.
Yeah,
get
what's
what
time,
they need
Travis?
here.
Thank you.
Oh, we're like 3
Okay.
minutes now.
Yeah.
Karen Valentine Goins, City of Worcester. I'm here in support of item 10B. The two topics of the order, zoning changes to reduce or eliminate off-street parking minimum requirements for most uses and reform tree protection requirements,
Adela
are
felt a
listed
little
together
low
on
energy
3
tonight.
pre-overhaul
yeah.
zoning changes that are among only 6 top priority early action items in the Worcester Now Next plan. Of others in this top priority list, the mobility action
Trying to
plan
get
draft
my
is
lap seal
complete
sound
and
like
the housing
a
production
Honda
plan,
Civic.
process has started,
Rusted
so it's
out.
time to start work on these two. Zoning changes are critical to improving walking and biking opportunity. It's not only the streets.
I live off Mill Street. I hear that all the time.
I'm part of a research
Dude,
team
I think
doing
you
some
got
of the
it.
only work in the country on zoning.
I
and physical
gotta work on
activity,
the.
and I can tell you the evidence is there
Yeah, I
that
was going to say, you
zoning
need the
reform
backfire now.
correlate
Yeah.
with people being more active and out in their communities. Off-street parking is not needed for all locations and uses, and outdated minimums like Worcester's limit development opportunity, raise housing and development costs, encourage use of personal vehicles, and generally contribute to a hostile environment for any
I ordered
travel
a
outside of your vehicle.
Set
All of
of
these are not helpful
lap
for making
steel
more walkable,
whammy
bikeable
bars
communities, something Worcester is
from
committed to in
France
several ways
that I will
now,
be
including Worcester
installing
Now Next,
on
Mobility
this
Action
thing
Plan, and now the Vision Zero
next
plan.
week. So excited.
Worcester Now Next, the Urban Forestry Master Plan and the Green Worcester
Yeah.
Plan.
They come
all
from
point to
France.
the need and
It comes from
community
France.
support for tree protection.
From the
It's
from the
urgent that
whammy
we
bar
move
region
on
of France,
this
so
now
you
to
know
protect
that
existing
it's
tree
real.
canopy on private lots
It's
and reduce
authentic.
tree removal.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're
House in
called tremolo bars.
1999.
But when they're from the whammy bar
Came
region of
down
France,
that
you can
street
call them
and,
whammy
showed
bars.
Whammy.
this beautiful shady
Yeah.
tunnel that included both street
For
trees
my
and windows
birthday,
and
which
yards.
was
We all know the
recently.
street
Oh,
trees
happy
on this
birthday!
side.
I didn't
Just this
know
year,
that.
My neighbor took
Thank
down
you.
3
That's
gorgeous,
okay.
mature, huge trees
My
in his
wife
yard
got
with no
me
approval required. I've been in this
portable
room multiple
David
times
Bowie
and heard all of you to a greater or
stylophone
lesser extent verbally embrace a more walkable
synthesizer that
community.
I
Now
am
it's time to move
so
ahead with these
stoked
zoning
to.
recommendations that
Yeah,
will contribute to
I
that
married the
other
right one.
communities
I'll put
are
it that
doing
way.
this.
Thank you.
I need to look
Hang
up.
on.
You should
I'll be
name
right
city
back.
residents. I
Yeah,
don't
no
know.
problem.
My tribal name is Getstai, and I live in Nipmuc territory. I'm not feeling too good. I just twisted my ankle. So I just want to talk about, by the way, happy Native American Heritage Month, everyone. And thank you to the city of Worcester for celebrating this. But I just talked to a homeless person, and they just cried on me. I'm so upset because it was a young lady that I knew that passed away in Queen Street. So it affected me really bad, and I didn't want to come up here and speak, but I've just lost too many of these young ladies. I can't even count anymore how many women have come to me. So I'm thankful to Councilor King for this, for the day center. This is about 20B. And I'm just tired of seeing these young ladies getting assaulted, I've seen too much out there. I've seen too much, and I hope this is gonna happen, but this is a beginning, and it shouldn't have taken this long. It should not have taken this long. So I'm tired of these young women and these young men dying, because this should have never happened. And when I was homeless, most of the people I know have passed, and that was 8 years ago. So I can't, this is my passion. This is just how I speak as a native. This is not what we said, come here and come and, we'll teach you how to do everything. We didn't. This is not what we wanted. So I hope this happens, but we also need a night center. And we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop because our ex-prisoners have nowhere. And our foster kids, my grandson is so angry at me. He blames me for his mom not finding anywhere to live. He is so angry after aging out. So I won't apologize for how upset I am, but I'm a grandma. I'm a grandma that had triple negative breast cancer, and they told me that cancer's coming back, and they said they can't treat it. So that's why I speak like this. But I lost my grandson because of no reintegration here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, Wolf Paul.
What's your name, Sierra?
Oof.
Danny Calais, Worcester. I
Wolf Paul's a
came
real
here
one.
tonight
I'm
to
really sad she's
oppose
having
14A.
a tough go right now.
What got me interested in it was I'd never actually met David Webb until tonight, but I saw what happened to him last week, and then I saw the city manager's response to it, and I immediately wanted to know how much he made because it was so disappointing. And then I found out it was over $300,000 last year, and he wants more. And I'm sorry about everything I just heard, but now I'm even more upset. So I guess the only thing I have to say is, does Eric Batista work harder than a single mom with 2 minimum wage jobs trying not to become homeless in Worcester? Because I doubt he does. And the fact that he would sit here staring me in the eyes and be like, yes, I want more money. I guess my question is, I would love to see a really cogent response to why his job is $300,000 of stressful. But people living in this city, struggling to make ends meet, have to beg. The person that was up here before me was begging to be realized. I hope some of you can see that. Some of you aren't even looking, which is like amazing. Thank you.
Get him. Get him.
Join the
My name's
revolution,
Jacob
sister.
Seidel. I'm a Worcester resident. I'm here in support of item 10B, particularly eliminating or reducing parking minimums. I'm leader of the Strong
Eric
Towns
Batista,
Worcester,
when
which is a
the
national-
revolution
with a local
comes,
version
where
of a
will you
national
hide?
organization. One of the priority campaigns of which is to eliminate parking minimums and mandates because of
Eric's not the
distortions
worst
that they
city
have
manager
on
we
housing
could have,
markets
but
especially.
he's not worth
So for a couple of
$300,000.
reasons.
He's a lovable dope. That's the
is
game
that
we play every time.
When
Yeah.
you require
He's not going to
people
do
have
like what
off-street
Ed
parking,
did,
you functionally
willfully
reduce
stick
lot
us
size.
with a
And in
false
combination
promise,
with
knowing
other
that the full nature of that false
of markets
promise
that we call zoning
would
regulations, it makes it
bear
very
out
difficult
publicly after he was long
to
gone.
increase the density of
I
use in lots,
yeah.
which means it makes it
I
very
literally
difficult to
don't
develop
think
more
he's
housing.
capable of that.
No.
There are historical reasons that
He
we've done
reminds
this,
me a
but it
lot
is
of
long
another
past
sort
time
of
that we
like
undo that problem.
lovable oaf,
quote
the guy who sits in the chair
leader of Strong
that the
Towns,
mayor
we've
has.
become very
Right.
sensitive to the difficulty of finding a parking space
But,
and very insensitive to the difficulty of finding housing. And there are easy solutions that we can take
that's a good point
in our
this
city
guy just
today
made.
and in the future to do that are
Yeah,
called
I'm
for
all for eliminating
in the Worcester
parking
Now
minimums.
Next
It's
plan.
such
I'm very
a
encouraged to see that
burden.
we're taking early steps in doing that. I've been very encouraged by the mobility action plan and the housing production
And it's
plan.
mostly just used to
And I would
police
just like
like
to see some steps
where the
taken
nice
in
parts of town
figuring
get
out
to be.
how through our zoning reforms and early actions before that happens.
Which is exactly why
we
Mo
can reduce
Bergman's
parking
gonna
minimums and
go to bat
mandates
for
and
them
make it more
tooth and nail
possible
tonight. I
for
have
the
to
citizens
urge
of Worcester to participate in the development of our city and to achieve our housing production goals.
Everything that I could do with this platform that I have right now that I'm resisting doing is like ranting about parking in the city.
Hello, my name is
Yeah,
Josh
there
Buchanan,
are a
I'm
million
Worcester resident.
things
I'm
like
here to
this
speak on
that
item 10B regarding draft ordinance for parking minimums. Speaking more specifically about these minimums, these impose financial costs on developers, on all new developments, and those are subsequently passed on to all the users of those developments, whether owners, renters.
It is so funny that Joe
workers,
Petty
tenants of all
said
kinds.
that it was my fault.
Building parking is
Because
expensive.
I called Mo Bergman an
According to
asshole.
WGI,
It's like Mo Bergman
engineering
is
the
just
median
such
cost
an
of building
asshole.
one
Like-
parking space in a garage, an above ground, no
It
frills
is
parking
actually
garage in
very
2023 was
I don't think that I was out of
$30,000.
pocket with that one.
Multiply
I think
that by
that
the number
it
of
was
spaces
it
in the
was
garage,
due.
and you have a pretty exorbitant price.
And hey, if anyone
These
was
costs are
watching the
often
stream
passed
the
on to
night that
consumers, as I've
council
already
had to adjourn, if you heard the guy with the
Parking
big
minimums are
deep
one-size
voice
fits
calling
all
a
solutions
bunch
that
of
often
people
result in higher
cowards,
costs
that
and
was me.
land use and opportunity trade-offs.
That was me.
Every square foot of government-mandated parking
I own
is
it,
1 square
and
foot less
I
for
take
another
full
purpose.
responsibility, and I don't feel
Reforming
one
parking
tiny
minimums
bit
does not
bad.
mean
They
that
are
developers won't
cowards,
stop
and that's why I
building
called them
parking,
that.
but rather that they'll be more intentional about what they build.
Yeah, they
Ultimately,
certainly
rethinking
are.
parking minimums will
I
not
chose
only
the people
lower
I
the
said it
cost of
to.
development, but allow for the space that would otherwise be
Yeah,
used
Kate Toomey and
for
Mo
parking to be
Bergman
used
are
in other
number
more
one
desirable
cowards.
ways, such as more units for multifamily buildings, more
Katie
street level
Merrill Carlson,
or even larger pharmacies and grocery stores. Thank you.
is a coward of a different kind. Donna Gloria just doesn't know where she is.
Name, see the residence phone number.
Bruce Hoffner, New Hampshire.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
To the
All right,
mayor,
time to practice my civic.
to the city manager, I'd like to speak on 14A and 10B. 14A is city manager. Through you, the mayor.
We should give that money to the police chief.
I
That's
think
what
you
he's
do a
gonna say.
lousy job running the city. 300 grand is like a
All right.
joke.
All right.
You
Gotta hand
can't
it to
even
him. That was pretty
manage
good.
a clock
Can
for
you
the
keep your
time
comments
that
respectful,
shut
please?
up.
We're all done.
You can't even manage the time for people to speak, okay? And you're always interrupting.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
You're out of order. If you can be respectful, you can finish your comments.
I can't be. First of all, I have the freedom of speech. Second of all,
Jesus, no,
you have
you
the
don't
obligation
understand
because you
freedom of
work for the
speech.
taxpayers to keep your mouth shut while I'm talking. And the
Yeah.
Oh, this rules, man. Oh, they cut him off.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Ah. Marco, keep recording.
I just want to note that like this
at what
isn't
he's
a thing that used to happen at city council, but like once every few years, maybe once.
It has been
This is like
escalating.
4 meetings in a row.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's getting weird, man.
The
Okay, we'll
right
wrap that
wingers
up
around
here.
here are
We're gonna
turning
go
into
to
fucking psychos.
Nicole Apostolo.
Oh, Nicole.
Mr. Mayor, the first speaker is Nicole Bosto.
Hi, my name is Nicole Apostola. I'm a resident of the city of Worcester. I'd like to speak about item 14A, which is the city manager's contract. I would urge the council to talk to an employment attorney about the following clause. Quote, at all times, Batista's annual base salary shall be $10,000 above the annual base salary of the next highest paid city employee, including Worcester Public Schools employees, end quote. This council absolutely needs to consult with an attorney to confirm whether this would potentially be in conflict with the Massachusetts Equal Pay Act. If this contract goes through, that means a man, the city manager, would make more money than a woman, the superintendent, who has a larger budget and more employees. Please, again, talk to an employment attorney about this clause. There are 3 more parts of this contract I would like you to consider. First, the city council needs to actually set clear, measurable goals for the city manager. This body has not set any actual goals to evaluate a city manager since the days of Mike O'Brien. And for the most part, he was setting those goals for himself.
Give it to him,
Before you
Nicole.
sign a new contract with the current city manager, there need to be
This is the
clear
best public
goals and
comment
regular
ever.
check-ins about those goals. Second, it's unclear to me why there should be a whole year's severance pay for someone who has only been in a job for 2 years. Finally, there should be no more money for private cars for the city manager or anyone else in the city administration, period. The bus is free. The city manager can take the bus or he can provide his own transportation. This is not consistent with the city's sustainability goals, and I would urge you to not pay for a private car for the city manager. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
We got next, Deb Curie.
I am just I have to say that what I wanted to say earlier about, you know, Nicole's tweets and what she had to say about the
Hi, can you
potential
hear me?
legal implications of this contract.
Yes, we can.
She just
Carrie,
said
in
it
the
all
city of
better.
Woodlands.
It was all her
Yep,
idea.
Deb Carey. I live in Princeton.
Yeah,
I'm
go Nicole.
native of Worcester.
Yeah,
Speaking on
I
behalf
have
of
I
Mass
timestamped
Audubon,
that.
the
I am
Broadmoor
definitely
Wildlife Sanctuary.
pulling that
I'm
out,
speaking on
transcribing the
item
entire thing, and sticking
8M
that in the newsletter this
regarding a
week.
master plan
That was
for Lake Park.
no
I just want
notes.
to put in my 2 cents that
The
I
fact that they are
visited the
giving him
park,
this
I
raise, they
walked around
don't
it quite a
evaluate
bit.
him
It
on
is
a set of goals. Like there's
spectacular
just
city
no,
park. A lot of people get it mixed up with
because
Quinsigamond
this
State Park
body
across
of
the
people
street.
could not
It has a
come up with
wonderful trail
a set of
network
goals for the city
that's
manager.
currently
Like they
overgrown
don't
right now.
know
I think it's
anything
kind of
about
an
running a
underknown
city.
park, so I think the
With
idea
the
of having a
exception
master
of
plan done, which will involve a lot
Patel
of community input, is the exact next step. And
Yeah, don't know and don't
my
really
colleagues at
seem
Mass
to
Audubon
want
are very
to
excited
know.
to help
don't
in that
like that. That's
process.
not why they're
Thank you.
there.
Right.
They're like there for some other reason.
So Mayor, the next
Right.
speaker is
I mean,
Sue
with
Elman,
Candy,
Associate
it makes
President.
sense because she's, involved in a certain part of
Hi,
the
this is Sue
construction
Mailman,
world
City
that
of Worcester.
benefits
I wanted to
greatly
comment
from
on
having a
the
hold on
tax rate
public
and
contracts.
ask council
Um,
to
but
please consider bringing some
like a
some of
K2me
these
just
rates a little
wants
bit
to
closer
be
together.
the main character of Law and
Residents
Order
are up
SVU.
against
Like
it
she's not there
more
to
than
be a city
anyone at
council.
this juncture, but we have to start sending,
Oh, Sue.
especially to our small businesses, messages that we say we appreciate and support the work you're doing. I think what the work you're talking about with Pilot is positive. And a very quick item on 14A. I think I'm surprised that some of these recommendations for salary adjustment for the city manager were made when we haven't addressed the issue that we're all sent to MLO for goal setting and evaluation. And it seems to me that, if there's going to be an adjustment in his pay and it's done by December, then make the adjustment, but leave all these significant changes until you actually do something about the goal setting and evaluation. And I can't say it any better than Nicole Apostola, who I thought spoke brilliantly.
Nor can I.
But this item of the city manager making $10,000 more than the next highest paid person, which is either the superintendent or the chief of police, is arbitrary. And it strikes me that the council would not want to give away their power to set the city manager's salary by giving that power, frankly, to the school committee. Thank you.
Yeah, so this
That's
is
an
what
interesting point.
happens
Mayor,
when the
next speaker is
competent
Carl Dahl.
side
Trying to get the
of your
resident now.
city government collides with the other side of your city government.
Hello,
Right.
can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Kyle Dahl. I'm a temporary Worcester resident as a WPI student, and I support Order 10B to remove parking minimums because I believe that we can create a city that works better for everyone. This is about giving developers, businesses,
This council is
and
going to do
communities
the opposite
more
of what people are
flexibility to
asking on
decide
both
what
of these
parking
things.
makes
They're going to
sense
approve
while
the
making
contract
Worcester
as
more
is, and they're going to
accessible to
hold or file.
For
the parking
drivers, it's
minimums.
important to know that eliminating parking minimums doesn't
That
mean
seems like a
eliminating
safe bet,
parking.
yeah.
With 35%
I would
of downtown
I would
already
put like
dedicated to off-street
$100 on
parking,
that right now.
we have a drastic surplus under nearly all conditions, as much of this parking goes underutilized. By removing minimums, we can better manage existing spaces through smarter strategies like shared parking agreements or improved pricing systems. This allows us to use land more efficiently, ensuring that spaces are available when and where they're needed. This reform can also encourage creative uses for lands, such as developing affordable housing or green spaces, instead of continuing to expand parking that may not be fully needed. Removing parking minimums is a gradual change. Developers can provide parking based on demand, while the city works to improve alternatives like better transit, walking paths, and cycling infrastructure. For drivers, this reform can mean less congestion,
Christian King
smarter
is
land use
totally
leads to
going to
fewer
be
unnecessary
cranky about
trips. Additionally, lowering the
parking
cost of
minimums.
building housing
He's
or
just-
businesses will make the city more affordable for residents whether they drive or not.
And
This is
yeah,
about creating a city
I
that
don't
works for
necessarily
everyone.
subscribe
Drivers,
to
pedestrians,
smart
and
goals
transit
or
users
like any
alike.
structure, but like,
Removing
can
parking
we just have a
minimums is a
structure?
simple but
Can we just
important
have a
step
framework by
towards a
which we
Worcester that's more
evaluate
affordable, vibrant,
whether
and
it's the best
sustainable.
one or like
It's time to open this
an
conversation
okay
and create
one
a
or
city that
just
reflects
any kind of
our
one.
needs for today and
The only
sustainable
one that
future we
Batista has
deserve.
really given
Thank
us
you.
himself is that we're going to be the best managed city in the
Okay,
country,
final speaker.
which is
My
just like
final speaker is
laughably
Eric Stroud. I'm mute the
dismissal
resident
off the bat.
Yes, hello. I'm also speaking in regards to parking minimums. Parking minimums are an antiquated set up for development of cities, and frankly, should be done away with. As others have said, the market should be allowed to decide how much parking we actually need. And further, this takes away from our ability to develop parking into things like housing and businesses. When you look at world-class cities, these are cities where people can walk around and they can enjoy the amenities that exist, whether those be restaurants, lodging, or other options. For parking spaces, these are really useless pieces of land. We
Welcome,
dedicate
Neil.
So much space
Hey, there he is.
to vehicle
What's
storage
up?
that we then subsidize.
How you doing?
These parking lots,
Yeah,
we
pretty good.
take
Good.
off of the tax rolls.
I've been
that-
sick.
that
I haven't been
possible
paying attention
developments
to
that
this
would bring
stuff at
more
all,
money into
but
our city.
That's great.
For city
it's good to see that
teams
TEL has
to
finally
frequently
made
say
good on our
how
promise
concerned
to
they
eliminate
are about
parking
that space, especially
and
with regards
single-family
to
housing,
the loss of housing
Yeah.
space
among
to
other things.
WPI.
Yeah, the revolution
it seems
starts
like this
tonight,
is a
actually.
No-brainer to
You
say, let's
missed
continue this conversation and
maybe
look
the
at
best
reforming
like
our
5
zoning
minutes of public
ordinances
comment I've ever
to
seen.
allow
So
to
back from your
basically be determined by
everyone. This
actual
is
need
Neil
rather
McNamara,
than arbitrary
formerly
requirements.
reporter
Further, with regards
at the
to
patch.
city
We miss him very
manager's,
much.
proposed raise in salary and contract,
but
I think that the
what was I gonna say?
$1,500 a month stipend
Bruce
for
Hoffner, the
personal
guy from New
vehicle
Hampshire
is
that randomly comes to
overkill.
city council meetings,
Quite frankly,
he
why not
told
stick with the
the mayor
IRS
to shut the fuck
comprehensive
up
rate,
when the mayor tried to
67
get him
cents
to
per mile.
stop speaking.
This rate is
And
intended to include things like wear and
apparently,
tear
since
and
he works for the
maintenance and gas
taxpayer,
and other costs.
it's the mayor's
Currently, if you
job
look at that
to shut the
$1,500,
fuck up.
that would be the equivalent of
Wow,
at
Bruce
67
Hoffner from New
cents
Hampshire
per
is
mile.
talking.
That would
Man,
be
that
the
was
equivalent
Bruce.
of almost
He
23
hangs out with the
pounds
Lincoln Street
a month.
weirdos, the people
You
I
don't
find
say.
it
don't want the
just
hotel
really
conversion.
interesting
Yeah.
to consider
That checks out.
that the city
Yeah.
manager would be driving 2,300 miles
Also, hi,
in the
Neil,
city of Worcester
and
or
huge
surrounding
fan.
areas
Chris,
in a month.
it's good to meet you
This is
finally
really
and
overkill.
You
And
as well.
again,
on
as
camera.
others have said, frankly, we should be pushing
Yeah,
to
thank
have
you both
the people
for
who
coming
are
on
leading our
and-
city
and,
looking towards
helping,
sustainable transportation, things like buses and walking,
fill
and
out the show
bicycles.
in
and
Brian
this is really not
and
looking towards our sustainability goals for the city. Thank you.
Neil, how are you adapting to life on the other side of the fence, so to speak?
It's tough. It's weird. It's very it's weird. Very slow. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
So we're in the petitions.
Well, yeah, the patch had you writing.
Petition may speak up for no more than 3 minutes.
The patch had you writing like
So
4 articles a
98
day. It seemed like
for
at
the
some
public
time.
works,
Yeah.
80
Sometimes
Which-
as many as 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Now that I think about it.
Separately.
There were times where I was like, damn, I wish that I was his union rep. You know, it seems like you, I mean, you did a lot of great work, but like sometimes it was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It was total churn.
Literally, what I went to patch to read.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think that they've replaced you. I don't.
No, I don't think they will.
That's
not the model of news now. Just keep the
Yeah.
positions
Thank
empty.
you.
Not the model of a lot of things.
I
Yeah.
can't vote for this item the way it reads because it puts in a lot
Oh,
of
there comes
streets
Donna
together,
out
which
in
some
front.
are private streets, some are regular streets. Lower Mass Ave has no driveways, so if it was metered outside their house, they would have no opportunity to park their car. So I think that if this was written each
So-
street individually,
She's gonna
it could be
file,
looked
right?
at, especially
She-
with
well,
the
no,
shared
this
parking
is-
and traffic. I know how we
This is,
we like to run our meetings. We'd like to have the concentrated
Steve
area
Quist's
and talk to the
attempt to
people
punish
from that street so
WPI.
we can
This
get a
isn't
good idea.
this isn't the
Too
parking
many
minimums
streets
one.
in one item, so I'm gonna have to
Steve
vote against
Quist,
this.
a genius. Obviously, we all know that.
Yes, the greatest idea haver in the modern history of Worcester.
He basically put a petition on to put a lot more parking meters around WPI to try to recoup the costs of the 2 hotels.
No, we're send it back to the
Oh,
petition
we
and
got.
rewrite it to-
Oh my
Christian's
God.
driving, great. Oh, and it's upskirt mode. Like
We got us, dude. Is moment of public bathroom? What is going on?
Christian King calling in from the dungeon.
He couldn't make
Yes.
himself look more insidious than like the angle that he holds the camera at. It's fucking awesome.
Yes.
All right, where are we in the agenda? I gotta
Pasillo?
I gotta pay attention here.
Council Russell?
Yes.
I don't know. That's your
Toomey?
job, dude.
I know. I'm on
Petty.
it. I'm on it.
Yes.
Mayor, it was 65.
So, Bill Moe, did you got people came after you for calling Moe an asshole or something? Is that?
Yeah.
Going to
I got blamed by the mayor on the radio
8M.
for the fact that David
Motion
Webb
to send
got
that will go
spray
to
painted in the
Sidewalks
face
and streets go to
by
Public Works. Send to Public
by
Works.
a
8M
close supporter of his.
is request additional
So
methods to ensure public participation.
Yeah.
You guys are
Who raised their hand.
Actually, Neil, that's an interesting
Items
thing that I wanted to
included.
talk to you about. I guess we can just do it publicly now.
Mr. Mayor, I think the petitioner is on.
You said you have a
Oh,
tipster
petition on?
that
Sorry, I hadn't seen it.
told you that John Piccolo's
Yep, go ahead.
campaign contributions to
What's
all
your
these
name,
people
City
were
resident?
just like restaurant tabs
Good evening.
that are
Natalie
filed the
Gibson.
wrong way.
So I have filed.
I mean, that makes
petitions
sense because they
before
all
on
end with either
various
99
things
or
regarding
59.
Zoom.
Yeah, it's like someone
As
bought like
you
a shrimp
will
platter or
recall,
something.
or maybe you don't.
Right,
I
right.
had filed
That's
one in
so
regards
interesting.
to,
They are very specific
Zoom
numbers.
Members not
Mhm.
being able to speak more.
They were
than
switched though.
2
By the time I
minutes.
got like,
But if you
I was looking at it for like a
are,
month, and then
present, you
they
pretty
did
much get
eventually
to speak
change it
as
to the right.
long as you want, even though you're interrupted.
Whatever.
and
No.
wrap it up.
It was
Now,
2023.
when I was
Yeah.
I kind of forget like the
on
rules that they were
another
breaking, but yeah, it was
call,
like something
I
like they
believe
should
it
have
was
reported as in
traffic
kind,
parking.
and they didn't.
I had my hand up to
But yeah.
speak
They're not
on,
really reported as in
the
kind
Coves
on any of the
street
filings that I've
parking,
Oh, okay.
and
So-
because and it is
The guy at
Anyway.
OCPF is
fault
pretty
to
good
the
about like
clerk
he'll tell you like, yeah, that's
because
not.
they are listening to
You
what
can't do
guys
that or
have
whatever.
to
If
say,
you're just like generically like pitch him an
writing
idea,
things,
he'll be like,
reading
yeah, you can't do
things.
that.
He
Yeah.
probably did not see that.
I
my
just
hand
want to
was
say on the
raised,
stream that we
and
are
I don't
all
know
waiting
how
for
it
Bill's
goes,
public
but I feel like
apology
there
for
should
the
be
fact
a
that
way
David Webb
for
got spray
other
painted.
people to
So,
say
you
Yeah.
know,
their hand
I'm
is
still here
raised
waiting. We're all
so
still here
that
waiting.
We can
Yeah,
have
we'll
our
hold space
say
for that. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
whatever petition
I, you
has
know,
been brought
will
forth.
I will seppuku
I
tomorrow.
don't have the
I just
luxury
need to
of
get my affairs in
coming
order.
to City Hall
Um,
for every
the-
meeting. I have a full-time job.
It was so
and then
funny
I
at the
have
end of the
to get
last
ready
meeting.
for
George
work,
Russell
hence me
was
being home
Attell made
doing
everyone
things
talk about the
and
fact
trying
that
to do
David
my
Webb got
civic
spray
duty
painted in
right
the
now.
face at the
So I
very
just
end
think
of the
that
meeting.
Zoom callers and
No one
probably
else was
even the
going to.
telephone callers,
And then George
we
Russell
need
was
about
like,
the same,
"Yeah, then you
amount
think about it. We
of
got
freedoms
these
as
people
the people
online
that are
calling
getting that are
the
showing up
city
in person.
council's swear names," and Joe Petty was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna run with that
Still
line.
have a few
That's
minutes, a minute left. So do
perfect.
you want to speak
Nailed
on
it.
8L
Figured
too?
it out."
Both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, both sides. We got our both
8L,
sides. Yeah.
Not the literal like
One service?
booster of all the
Oh,
city
yes,
councilors
thank
coming.
you.
Like,
So
am I correct? He
have
like
brought this to
saw
my
David's
district
Facebook
counselor,
post, then made the decision to
Attell's
come down to City Hall
attention
with a spray
in
paint
that
can.
I see a lot
Yeah.
of
Spray him in the face.
petitions that
He
are
was-
That's what
struck
happened.
as
I mean, I
results,
woke up the next day. I was like, what the
or
like what?
closed. But
He was
you do not
clad in a
see
hoodie,
why that is.
and
There
the
are times
cops
you may get a work request number.
were,
Sometimes
for
you
some
don't.
reason,
I just feel like
not there.
it seems a little.
The city manager said that the cops don't have a detail at City Hall during city council meetings, but that's just
Unless
so
they're doing
much
a Gaza
transparent
petition, yeah.
when you have a
right.
number
Yeah,
that
that's.
says
But there's a cop. There's always a cop there. There wasn't a cop there then.
Fixes
This
or
guy
resolves
jumps out,
when they really aren't. The things are
spray
so
paints David
open.
Webb in the face, and then
So I
gets
think that
tackled
we need
by
to
Wolf
kind of
Paw.
think about how we
There's
can
a
maybe
there's
make
a,
it more
a whole
transparent by saying,
brawl,
okay,
and then
this
he
is the
just
total
leaves
amount
out the
of,
elevator, and the
work
cops show up
requests
like
that
5 minutes
has
later.
been made from residents in the city. This is how much we fixed so
Considering
far.
that
This is how many does
Candy
not
Merrill
apply to
Carlson
us
and Mike
because we do not-
O'Brien are
we don't use
among the people that
for
John
that
Piccolo
reason.
supports the closest, and
Okay, thank you.
close friend of
You're
all
welcome. Thank
three
you.
of them is the
So we'll
new
do
head
it
of
for
the Worcester Police Union.
Yep. Council King.
I don't think it's I don't think I'm too far away from the truth in saying that somebody might have got a message to not show up for that part. But he has a summons, so
Yeah, that's a big deal.
yeah. Yeah, Anthony Petroni got off scot-free in that whole thing. But
What Petroni has a role?
no, it's just he doesn't show up in the campaign donations, but like, he is. What's his name? Mike Moore, Candy Merrill Carlson, Anthony Petroni, and John Piccolo. That is like that's a real tight knit crew. It's a real axis of evil on Shrewsbury Street.
Man, Shrewsbury Street. Sorry, nothing really good comes comes out of there.
advance public participation.
Except for
I'd say,
several
Mr. Chairman,
businesses that I go to all the time.
Councilor Russell and his committee have been really focused on the work that we do.
What are they talking about now?
Essence. And,
I don't know if anybody watches Tulsa King, but get real Tulsa King vibes or Sons of Anarchy vibes from the Shrewsbury Street area. Extremely complex organized crime to net, like, spray painting someone in the face or break,
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
$24 out of a parking meter or
Yeah.
So, Chairman, I was hoping,
or whatever prompts a tow truck driver to give Katie Merrill Carlson $1,000 every election cycle. Like, I really want to know why the tow truck company gives Katie Merrill Carlson like more. It's got to be the most low-level corruption or crime possible. Like,
yeah, I mean, let's not forget, it wasn't that long ago that there were some Santa Marias and company that beat someone within an inch of their life. Someone who almost died between the back of Pat's Towing, where there were no cameras, and being transported to UMass University Hospital, who showed up to pick up a car and got, I don't know. Weird stuff goes on there. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor GA?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
God, Sean. So at our election night show, Sean Connolly went into Piccolo's to try to interview Kate Toomey, and he almost got thrown out. Like, I was like, Sean, I don't know if that's such a good idea. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. And then he's on the phone with us, and he's having a shouting match with somebody across the street. I just remembered that. He was like, yeah, fuck you too. Oh man, I gotta pull that back up.
Yeah,
it was probably John Piccolo.
That was the absolute god.
That was the first thing I thought of when I saw it.
Councilor Ojeda?
It was Piccolo.
Pasillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Sean, also one of the nicest guys anyone could know. Like, the last guy I'd expect to ever be in a shouting match with.
Yeah. It's very, that was a ballsy thing to do, and I appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify, one of the residents that spoke referred to 9M. That was just something that discussion at the table. There was a little confusion at the table during the Public Works meeting about the difference between the delivery of fill to private streets and the availability of fill for private street property owners to pick up. The private street property owners can still
my God,
pick
why
up
do we have private streets?
fill
The city is
at the
so
yard with an appointment on 311. So I don't know if you want to change that at all, but I just want to make that statement so people don't misunderstand that fill is still available if they call.
Here's a fun thing I didn't know. With all the RFK talk out in like removing fluoride from the water, I Googled it. Worcester doesn't have fluoride in the water. We voted against it.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The impact on Worcester will be nothing because we decided not to have fluoride in our water right from the jump. I believe we're the only city in Massachusetts and maybe New England to make that decision. But yeah.
It's been on my like story tracker list to do something about that and try to like find the people who like made that so and talk to them if they're still alive.
Mr. Chairman,
but
it's pretty
there's
self-explanatory.
Chris, you probably would know this more than anybody. Wasn't there another similar like reactionary controversy to cable meters, like
smart meters? Yeah.
Smart meters.
Smart meters.
There
Yes.
was a when that was like 2015, 2016 or something.
Maybe even a little earlier. I'm racking my memory, which is not that great. I want to say it was sometime around or just after Tea Party time. So let's say like 2010, 2012-ish.
That's when those were
big.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a big push.
Oh, 2013, National Grid meters opposed.
There we go. Yeah. There were people had yard signs and stuff.
Wow. This is important. I think, we often hear, thank you for your service. We hear all sorts of things. We come together for our veterans often.
Interesting, Matt Mitchell. I did not know that Springfield does not fluoridate their water. Doesn't super surprise me, but I did not know that.
Desires aside, we have all of us.
Like, it makes sense that Alex Jones is from like Texas, but like Alex Jones could have just as easily come from Worcester. I feel like we have that energy.
Councilor Florio?
Yes.
It's
Councilor
baked
Gia?
into the whole
Councilor
equation.
King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson? Yes. Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda?
The washing machine will
Councilor
Yes.
turn your clothes gay.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. Request city manager begin drafting ordinances relative to advancing two Worcester.
You have to be.
Next
I don't even.
recommendations concerning
You have to be such a
eliminating or
like a
reducing
Dale Gribble to
minimum
care
parking
about
requirements,
fluoride
and B, reforming
in
tree
either
protection
direction
requirements for
before
all
it goes.
developments.
There's a lot according to the state. There's Auburn's not
And please see attached.
fluoridated.
Councilor Ojeda?
Ashland.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time
Barry,
on this.
Bellingham.
I've had several conversations with Mr. Dunn and with
Oh.
the city manager regarding
Mass Live already did the.
advancing this to
what do you know?
pre-overhaul zoning reforms that are outlined in the Worcester
M-
Now Next. I'm not asking council tonight, similarly to my ask last
Wait.
council.
360 Worcester homes get their
a report
fluoride,
and a draft ordinance,
and they get them from
on
Holden.
the prohibition of gas
Yeah,
stations.
there's
What
like
I'm
one
asking here
small
is that the
group of
city
people that get
manager,
fluoride water.
That's
in
awesome.
compliance with the Worcester Now Next, advance this to
It's like most of Worcester County doesn't have fluoride.
draft ordinances. I'm going to reserve my comments as to why I think it's important and what I specifically want to say about both of these. But I am going to mention that the Worcester Research Regional Bureau, Worcester Regional Research Bureau has an excellent report on this, and I would
Springfield
ask the
does
city
have
clerk,
fluoride,
to
according to
please
the state.
add that to the agenda, if possible, at the next time the city manager brings the draft.
That's a
ordinances.
Neil fact.
Again, I'm hoping
Sorry,
that
yeah. Just like
the council
I'm-
will
Oh, yeah, no.
agree
I'm on the state
and,
website. You gotta.
Not something I've researched. It just like it was a thing I did know about Worcester, and that like didn't surprise me from a long time ago. But I would be fascinated to know the battle lines of the original fluoride battle.
I just found a gem of a Worcester magazine article that's surely written by Walter Bird.
All set.
It
Councilor
is. Where is
Mr.
it?
Chairman, I would just ask that when
Anti-fluoridation
this
of
report
Worcester
comes back, that
tradition.
the
It was written in
administration puts options
2016.
In it, that's all. That it's just not
I put it in the
completely,
private chat. I can't throw
endorsed
it
by
in the.
Administration, it comes back.
You know
and
what's
we
so
go through
annoying
and digest
about
and we can
Gatehouse
see what the
Media,
options are, and
besides
maybe
the fact that
might be
they
eliminating
destroyed
parking
my
requirements
job
altogether,
and
it might be
so many other people's
reducing
for
them
no
or
fucking
doing it in
reason.
certain zones. I'd like to
They
see
took everyone's
all the different
bylines off
options.
of old
Thank you,
Worcester
Mr. Chairman.
magazine stories.
Councilor King?
So like you
Thank you,
don't
Mr.
know
Chairman.
who
I'd
wrote
like to sign on to this. I support
what when you go back and
the draft
look it up.
ordinances, Mr. Chairman. And
It's like a problem with the
I
website that they
think
just
the
never
importance
fixed.
of this is exactly
Yeah, a lot of those places seem to have done that, or made old articles not findable in a way that doesn't feel accidental, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
zoning
It feels unethical.
in our city.
It certainly feels unethical. It also feels maybe like a tactic.
Yeah.
Continue to want to age.
Yeah, if an old article like drags down SEO or whatever,
Families want to live here.
they'll get rid of it.
And similar to ADUs, we need all of them. With regards to safety.
Damn, there were public referendums in Worcester in 1996 and 2001.
On fluoride?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I thought it was like the 70s. That's crazy.
1991. 2001, yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, so I moved here in 2004.
Not even the war on terror could manufacture consent for fluoridation in the water in Worcester.
I've had these conversations.
Respect.
Councils there are aware of these things. We do have some parking challenges. We have a affordable housing.
Is Christian being driven around?
Building there.
Or is he driving?
In the area.
I don't believe he's
There's a
driving.
new street that's been created.
Yeah.
And those residents are challenged. I met with them. I met with them all hours of the night, Mr. Chairman.
There's like a new
District councils have as well.
development they want to build like near the Stop and Shop on Grafton Street
To get to their job.
with like 400 apartments with 793 parking spaces.
Within that bracket,
What a fucking
we have
waste.
essential workers that are in COVID. We can't.
So
We
stupid.
have to consider.
Downtown Worcester, there. Remember the parking map that somebody released? Some organization released. It's crazy.
Yeah.
From the top view.
Is compromised.
So Neil, you may not know this, but Bill definitely does. I live downtown. I lived in the big Front Street building, and I could talk about this for like hours and hours and hours at some other time. But it's wild, and needless to say, it doesn't actually work well at all for the people who live down here either.
I was surprised to find that that building that you live in is basically like designed to mimic that like parking garage wall that surrounded downtown. It's like still the same setup, just with like a different building. So,
yeah, no, it's built in its footprint exactly.
Yeah.
That we get a report back on what's being done for I think it's called the district, but the housing.
Damn, Jan Yost is on record in this old article about anti-fluoridation saying that the ownership of the newspaper was against it. And they framed it, think about how dominant the newspaper was. The Worcester Telegram and Gazette were it. It's the Telegram's fault that we don't have fluoride in the water.
While we're doing this, that we are concurrently coming up with an interim plan for the folks that live in Mr.
Another win for journalism.
Thank you. So we'll send it to the manager as amended.
I had, I'm going to say it was, let's say it was 12 years ago. It was early in my ACLU job. I had a meeting that I did not want to have with the Telegram's editorial board on behalf of the organization that I worked for at the time. And that was one of the weirdest collections of people I've ever
working with the city's various department heads to provide an increased number
like
of
if you think Talk of the Commonwealth is weird, oh my god.
Officials and residents when discussing
I know it. I was forced to work there for about a year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think this one just pretty simple.
Yeah, old newspapers are full of weirdos who've been there forever. You know, starting the job in the 70s, and now they're 60 and have never had a sexual partner. Then they're it seems like, I mean, I worked at a couple newspapers with people who were just like, they just lived there and they were from the 70s or whatever. And,
yeah, you got this weird like Milton from Office Space job where you make like $180,000 a year to like, I don't know, read letters or something. And yeah, very, very strange.
It just makes things easier, streamline it a little better for us as well. Some
yes, make things easier by making somebody have to make PowerPoints for you to look at a slab.
Just something that gives us
what is this issue?
This is Louis Ojeda.
Get a better idea of where it's at. Thank you.
He wants more PowerPoint presentations.
Okay, roll call.
Damn, I didn't pay attention to the parking minimums thing at all. We missed that.
Yes.
I believe.
King.
Yes.
It passed.
Councilor Nguyen.
They passed it?
Ojeda.
Yes.
Yeah, with some amendment though.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay. We are on 10D. Request the manager requests the Commissioner of Transportation and Mobility review the intersection of Salisbury Street and Flag to determine any improvements that can be made.
I'm pretty sure they have a screen they wheel around to all the offices already.
Is the sign down
It's
again?
stupid
The
order,
sign
but
is
just
always down.
whatever. Anyway.
I'm sure, I wish we had Councilor Ojeda's screen right now, but there's a little island on Salisbury Street where you make
People constantly
turn
run
onto
over.
Flag, and there's a sign on the island that is constantly run down. It needs to be replaced.
That's the one.
Costs money and takes time.
I love seeing tire tracks
Councilors
across like
King and Councilor
a
Burke
sidewalk
both-
or like.
I know they've brought this up in the past, and I do appreciate their guidance and
That's
help with
Worcester.
this. So basically, if there's just anything we can do to change that intersection,
Gotta love it.
to make it more
Jenny, we don't have Florida in the water. We're not protecting
user-friendly,
a sign.
that would be very appreciated. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman.
Maybe we could fluoridate the signs.
God, both of these guys,
you,
just
Mr.
with
Chairman.
the
I'd
most
like to
buck
cite
wild
this.
Zoom
I've had
etiquette.
discussions with regarding
We have
this
no clue,
particular
do
issue.
they?
Christian's whole vibe right now is like the last thing you see before someone puts a bullet in your head when you're Joe Pesci and you get the call to get made in Goodfellas, you know?
Yeah, he looks like he's in the back of a limo or something.
Yeah, you walk into the room and everything's covered in plastic and you go,
Someone needs to get Mo to stand up, because if you're on the toilet for longer than 20 minutes, it's really bad for your lower digestive system.
Pertaining to the mini rotary at
Yeah,
that location.
Epic. He does. He's in a bedroom. I saw a lamp when he turned the camera slightly, but it absolutely looks like it's right in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's the angle you get when you're, in the toilet.
It looks like the bathroom in like a nice McMansion.
Thank you.
Where there's like one sign on the wall that just says like gathering.
Council Bergen?
Yes.
Council Caloria?
Yeah. And there's like those little twigs in the jar of oil.
Carlson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
It's totally possible that is a bathroom that just has a lamp, and I'm not fancy enough to imagine that type of situation.
Bathroom with a lamp's the most cursed thing I've ever heard, but I think I kind of would like that actually. Nice reading lamp right by the John.
Ooh.
I want to pull out the first one, Mr. Chairman.
13.
Oh, they're holding everything tonight. What? Why? They just want to take the night off.
13A,
Is there a game on?
from
Jesus.
The Economic Development Communication, the manager recommend adoption of designated urban center housing increment financing program zone approval of the UCH TIF.
Wait.
Russell?
That tells
I just don't
order
really
pass
understand
through
this.
with no ADU or parking minimums. Then what?
Just
What was
around
left?
this apartment complex and dealing with the construction and the taxable or
The Bruins are playing Vancouver tonight, and the Celtics are off. So
I don't take many of these guys to be big Bees fans.
Increment zone.
I agree.
For that, all those businesses, as reported in the Telegram, I think it was reported in the Telegram. I hate to put Marco on the spot, but it was reported that it was the whole area, all the businesses in those shopping centers. Are they going to have some kind of special deal?
Mr. Manager?
To the council, no, that only extended, the mapping only extended to a number of properties within that vicinity of Lakeside. It is in conjunction to a project that's being developed. It has to be in conjunction with a project that's developed. We've been looking at Big D and trying to provide different tools and different options to be able to hopefully develop.
Looking at that Big D.
Looking at that Big D. Here he is, our $300,000 man.
I'd like to defer to Peter Dunn, who's on the line, who could also add more.
Is there a
commentary.
map that is available for this?
Yeah, Peter Dunn.
Yep. Mr. Dunn?
I'm actually not super familiar with this development. 34 to 46 Lakeside Ave.
It's like the Mill Street area. Attell proposed this like 2 years ago.
It's a grocery store that's been a dead grocery store since I've lived in this city, and I've lived here for 20 years, almost 21 years.
What else is included?
Sure, through the chair to the council. I believe
Lower
in the
Mill
packet,
Street.
The application that we've provided.
No, that's a different.
That shows
That's
the
different.
outline of the district.
Big D?
It's highlighting those parcels based on the land use categories.
I'm
as
sorry,
well.
am I
So
incorrect about that?
Generally
The
speaking,
Big D?
it goes from the Lakeside Avenue, the project that's
This
of
isn't-
primary interest
no,
in
this
that
isn't that.
application. It
I don't
includes
think.
a portion of Mill Street.
Oh,
We
this
talked
is
about
the
to include
the public housing right there. Like, I mean, that's Lakeside.
Development.
Right,
this
right.
program
That's
could
Lakeside on the
benefit
other side of the
a future
mill.
development proposal there. And then one of the requirements
side
of this
of,
program under the
Coast Pond.
state is that it has to meet their definition of an urban
But
center. So it has
Intel
to
did
include a mix
want
of land
a
uses,
TIF for
including
the Big D
commercial land
area, so-
uses.
Yes.
So it also
Yeah, I remember
extends
that.
down into the Webster Square area.
That's what-
But not. I wouldn't call it. Like
I'm
an
reading the
extensive geographic
report
area
right
where
now.
It goes all the way down Stafford.
Oh, I
Street,
remember
all the way
looking
down
into this
Cambridge Street. It's really
because-
focused on the primary Webster Square
Chairman,
area.
I'd ask that we
There's
hold
something
this at
sketchy
least
going
for
on with Joe
another meeting,
Carlson
just
with this
to-
one.
Before I can see an actual map, before I can vote, otherwise.
That's kind of an evergreen statement, but
I think that.
Oh, because I guess
like what's included,
their shop
because
would
if
be
it's a
included.
large parcel
Mhm.
of commercial.
Yeah, my
properties that are
apologies then.
included,
Also,
what
I
special
did not
tax
at
deal,
any
because
point agree to be
if that's the
fact checked.
case,
So
That means
hey,
the businesses
just
across the
it's
city,
okay. We're wrong on this
residents,
program.
no matter, will
Like
be seeing a
pretty much half the
difference,
things I say are
balance sheets,
wrong.
at the end of the day for them, too.
But this is where you just you just let it rip on here, expecting no one to watch, notice, or care, and then you polish it up later.
Through the chair
That's
of the councilor,
that's
this district designation is not suggesting that all of the parcels, including there, are getting some sort of tax break. What it does
I'm learning a lot.
Is a
George Russell
designation
approved
for which a future
the
project that
Fuller
includes
Park
primarily affordable
deal,
housing,
if you want to
could
call it that.
propose to seek
And now
benefits
he's
under it,
got
just like
all
we
kinds of
use
questions
other
about this.
tax increment financing
He doesn't
strategies for
understand
other
any of it, does he?
proposed development
No, he
projects.
really
So any
doesn't.
future
He
project
really
that
doesn't.
may seek tax benefits would have to come before this body and be evaluated and considered. So
Hearing
the only
him
project
ask
that's seeking
questions about
tax benefits
the
in the
Polar
district
Park,
as part of this application is the Lakeside Apartment
uh,
Redevelopment
District
of the Housing
Improvement
Authority. And again,
Financing
in the exhibit, there's a
District,
comprehensive
whatever, diff
inventory of
districts
each and every parcel
last week was
that
tough.
is included in this designation.
So through you, Mr. Chairman, so other than the Lakeside Apartments, any other parcel that received any special tax deal would have to come here on a case-by-case basis?
The only
Okay, I
reason
have no problem
he's
with that. Thank- I
asking these questions is because
Thank you,
he's just
Councilor
like,
Russell. Councilor
he's
Ojeda.
got whipped up into a
Just
frenzy
to,
by Madison Properties.
Thank you, Councilor Russell, for not holding this. This was actually something that I had put on council a year ago, as I was trying to figure out.
I actually think
ways
it'd be
that we
really
can
fun to
incentivize
live
the
in
big
George's
developer
mind in
to,
like a
not
constant
hold
state
that
of like
parcel
wonder and
hostage as he has
amazement.
for many decades.
Yeah, just like
that program has never been taken advantage by the city. I spoke to.
I mean, it's like when
Mr.
Homer
Dunn
Simpson
about
was like
it.
spinning
I think,
around on the carpet.
There's a
and just,
project
like,
in
Yeah.
Council
Hooting.
district that this is applied to.
You know,
It's actually a really good economic
making it
development
50, 60
incentive.
years and you still have
since
the
we're
mind of a
speaking about St.
newborn baby.
Adams, I have had several conversations with
And
the
the
manager
face, the
and
face
with
of the
Mr.
baby.
Dunn
He's
to
got
try
a,
to bring him
it's
to
just
the
a cute
table.
face for
Now that hopefully
the best
this
was
gets
when
approved by
he
council, but it is
he-
also just speaking of the Webster
my favorite
Square,
George
that
Russell
area
moment
has
is when
been
he
neglected for
weirdly
some time in terms of
objected
economic
to
development. My hope is that
property
not only we
mapping,
can actually get big
Yeah.
DEs
like
redeveloped,
airplanes,
but it's
Yeah.
actually a really good incentive
at the
for
same time that
Lakeside Apartments,
the
which,
police
as you
drone
all know,
debate
will
was
be
going on. So he like was totally in favor of police drones, but he was like,
and,
I don't
our
want any
residents
planes
there are
flying off
really
my
looking
house taking
forward to having
pictures.
this opportunity,
Yeah, because
given
he was
that
trying
was-
to conceal
that's
that
a
like
very
the pool he
economically
built.
You're right,
disadvantaged
right.
community.
Yeah.
And given that
He's
I'm
trying to
there,
hide
Mr.
it.
John, thank you so much for your
So
work
sick.
on getting this both in Councilor Merrill Carson's district, but also I've been
Tell us
looking
just to
forward
try to
this,
distract
thanks
from
to
the fact
Economic
that she's,
Development Committee for bringing
you know,
this
trying
forward.
to bring Albanian
Would be
influence
great
into the
if we can
council
put
tonight
this
with her
right.
proclamation.
Okay, so we're going to take
Yeah.
13.
Blatant.
The
D,
the Greeks
14B,
will the Worcester Greeks will not take
C.
that.
No.
They will not.
Mr.
take
Chairman,
Yep.
This will not stand.
I just would also like report back just why we have a motion.
I wish I knew how many reports Christian actually got back.
Safeguards.
Should have like tracked it.
The right. It's impossible to track. There's no like if you asked like city like the clerk, hey, is there like a spreadsheet of reports and whether or not they've been satisfied? Like no way. It's like it's a weird ritual for city councilors to just ask for reports knowing they'll never get them back.
It's all they can do, really. The only power
It
they
really is. That's such a great point, Neil. I mean, you know, I've heard police talk about their jobs as like, you know, I am a police report writing person, not like, you know, what you think a cop is. And like, what is Worcester City Council at the end of the day except a body that requests reports? And we really have no idea, or very little idea, actually, what happens after that. Yeah.
King. We just got there's on this agenda. There's a very interesting report that we got back that shows how much property Holy Cross is buying around Holy Cross, and I don't think they're going to talk about it.
Yes, 13B.
Like you ask for the report, and then it just.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Into the ether.
Yes.
Councilor King?
Also, Neil, if you were still working at the patch, you'd be all over this one. But have you heard about what Dennis Dowdle is doing up by Holy Cross?
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned it to me.
It's
yes.
Yeah.
14B,
I have my spreadsheet of all his LLCs and his property takings like half filled out.
Councilor King?
Hoping to get it together for
Councilor
Thursday,
Carlson?
but
Council Nguyen?
He's literally
Yes.
like,
Council Ojeda?
like
Yes.
it,
Council
it
Pasillo?
looks like a
Council
criminal
Russell?
conspiracy.
Council Toomey?
Like
Yes.
he is buying residential properties
15A,
and immediately
15B,
selling them to
roll
Holy
call.
Cross, like all around Holy Cross.
Really? Like all his houses down there?
Yeah.
Council
Oh,
Coloria?
wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Council
With
Ajia?
like
My vibe
King?
instantly was this is like a half season of The Wire.
right.
Ojeda?
Yeah.
Council
Exactly.
Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
It's like it's and none of it's
Toomey?
illegal
Yes.
because we have like absolute shit
Yes,
protections.
16A to 16D, motion accepted on the roll call.
Oh.
16E to 16P, motion
Epic. I
accepted
can't say
adopted.
too much publicly
Roll call.
about
Council
Rooster Gate,
Bergman?
but
Council
I am
Colorio?
interviewing
Yeah.
Council Ajia?
Yes.
one of the
King?
people involved in Rooster Gate
Council Moore Carlson? Council Nguyen?
shortly. Next week
Council Ojeda?
sometime.
Yes.
Council
And
Pasillo?
Yes.
it actually might be a
Council Russell?
fucking
Yes.
Council Toomey?
interesting story.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes, 16Q to 16W.
Apparently,
and
Rooster Gate has gone all the way
17A
up
to
to housing court,
17G,
and there might be a state
and
appeal.
17H to 17X.
Rooster Gate is serious. Did you guys know what I'm talking
Roll
about?
Council Bergman?
On 311, or
Council
Worcester
Colorio?
311,
Yes.
there
Council
is
Ajia?
a guy
Council King?
who was
Council
submitting these
Carlson?
hilarious complaints
Council
about a
Nguyen?
rooster like almost
Council
every day.
Ojeda?
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
And
Yes.
I
Council
just talked
Toomey?
to the guy who
Mayor
owns the
Petty?
rooster,
Yes.
and
Next item up
apparently
is 18A,
the
Carolina
city
privilege.
like took
Communication of the
the
city manager
guy
for
on
information
311
communications
submitting
relative to
all of the
feasibility
anonymous
using
requests
TIP
so
to
seriously
advance
that they
environmental
took the guy to housing
sustainability.
court and had like 10
You can send that to
inspectors
ED.
come
Roll
and
call.
check out the property and like
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Colorio?
over,
Yes.
over a
Council
couple
Ajia?
chickens.
Council
So
King?
I
Councilor
am gonna
Carlson?
hunt that lead down because
Councilor
that seems
Nguyen?
like the most
Yes.
Council
fucking
Ojeda?
perfect
Yes.
Worcester
Council
story. It's
Pasillo?
on Salisbury Street
Council
too, so
Russell?
you know that
Yes.
something.
Oh,
is going
yeah.
on.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Mayor Petty?
You know that
Yes.
like the person calling is like Mo Bergman or
Next
something.
item is 18C. Motion is to open the hearing. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
This
I guess
is
maybe
on
they're
National
just
Grid
trying to wrap this
convocation
up
at
because of
Jackson
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think we lost
Maybe.
him.
Noah's already in his
Council
Airbnb.
Colorio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Council Ajia?
Yes.
Christian's driving
King?
to his Airbnb.
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
I
Maybe
wondered.
onto something there.
Yes.
Council Ojeda?
Yeah, I mean they
Council
pushed a
Pasillo?
bunch of
Yes.
stuff off
Council
the
Russell?
agenda.
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
There's also that. Well, they're going to do tax classification, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's usually a whole
Is to adopt.
rigmarole,
to close
which
the
is so
hearing.
stupid.
Close the hearing and to adopt. Roll call.
Council Bergman? Council Colorio?
Because
Yes.
like
Council Ajia?
Yes.
Council King?
it's such a small
Yes.
part
Councilor
of the
Carlson?
tax setting process,
Nguyen?
and then it goes out to the
Yes.
public in
Ojeda?
such a way that
Council
it
Pasillo?
seems
Yes.
like
Council Russell?
they took meaningful
Council Toomey?
action on
Yes.
people's
And Mayor
property
Petty?
taxes.
Yes. So
But
we
it's
have a
like not-
Motion the suspension.
It's just because the Chamber of Commerce
Roll
wants
call.
it to read that way. Is why the headlines are like that. It's like it really
Council
doesn't
Bergman?
matter.
Council Colorio?
No,
Yes.
the budget
Ajia?
director comes with the
Council
number.
King?
Like, this is it.
Councilor
Yeah,
Carlson?
yeah,
We need this much money to run the city.
Yes.
Like, that's
Council
it.
Ojeda?
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
right.
Yes.
That
Council
We can-
Russell?
Yes.
there's no
Council
democratic
Toomey?
decision on
Yes.
that.
And Mayor Petty?
No,
Yes. Council Hajia.
they can divert like a few cents in
I
either
just
direction.
wanted to bring
Yeah.
up something that was announced this week by the governor relating to unhoused families in our homeless emergency shelter, but also just want to start by saying that I appreciate that we have projected in 2 years to have the day center in partnership with
It's
CMHA.
crazy. It's taking 2 years to build the day
Mr. Chair,
center.
I'm just really
That's like-
concerned about the restrictions that the governor just announced.
To
related
even
to
start
the homeless
thinking
emergency,
about
shelter
talking
system,
about building the
that
day
would be
center.
for
How
families,
much-
Which will be
pregnant
over
women,
capacity the
pregnant
instant it
people who,
opens.
are currently unhoused. I would like to find out
2 years. What?
if the chair of public health would be amenable
I
to
work in
have a
Union
hearing
Station now,
with,
and it's
Yeah.
leaders of Central Mass Housing Alliance,
that is the day
Catholic
center.
Charities,
That's people are sleeping in the
perhaps
hallways.
other
People are
providers that provide
Yeah.
I live there during the day. There's nowhere else to
shelter
go. I mean,
to
Yeah.
talk to us
The
about
library,
what the plan
Union
is,
Station,
and how
City
they're gonna be
Common, but they've been
prepared
kicking people
to,
out of City Common.
what
Yeah.
a lot of us are
Which
anticipating
I
being
wrote
more
about, but no
families
one else
that
seemed to pick
will
up on.
be,
It's
kicked out
like
of shelter
if you have a shopping
in 6
cart
months, whether they have
or
housing
you're
or
smoking
not.
cigarettes, they'll kick you out of the
The
City Common.
restrictions on
Yeah, I mean, Union
family
Station
shelter
to the bus
system
hub
are,
to
in my opinion, as someone
the
who has done
Common,
this work for
that
a
is
long time,
something like
extremely
my
disturbing.
backyard to my front yard.
They will
And
hurt a lot
yeah,
of
it is
people,
indeed the day
mostly
center.
women and children
And
in
it's
our
really sad.
community who will
and these people are my
undoubtedly have
neighbors, and
no
I don't
safe
begrudge
places to
them.
go
They
and will
belong
be
here
forced
just as much as
into,
I do. But
places
it's
that are
rough.
not meant for human
I
habitation.
can't help them in all the
Part
ways
of
that they need to be
what
helped,
Councilor Nguyen and I
it's
testified
tough
at
to
the
see.
hearing, at the state hearing that the Lieutenant Governor held with
I
municipal
mean,
leaders,
last year
is posing
they
the
were
question
talking
how
about
exactly
partnering
municipalities
with the
like ours, police
Clark and all the
departments,
colleges to
inspectional services,
at least have like the warming
social
centers, and that just never
agencies
materialized.
in Worcester that are already super
Never
stretched
went anywhere.
thin.
Same with the
How will
supposed
we
bathroom
deal as a
downtown that
community with
dates back to Augusta. It's probably
the
earlier.
influx of unhoused families, mostly women and children?
Yeah,
that
it's
will
crazy
be,
how long it takes. I
exited
mean,
from
there's
shelter based on the
permanent
new
supportive
rules
housing
after 6 months. I will reach out to the
projects that were
delegation. In fact, we
proposed
have a
in
conversation with Senator
2018
Kennedy
that haven't been built
and a
yet,
few other
but they're
folks
still factoring them
tomorrow
into their
to
reports
just
as if
talk
they're
about
going
what
to
the
be
plan
built
is
at
in
some point
terms
in the
of
future.
organizers
It's
and
been 6
advocates at
years.
the State House.
I
But
don't
I will say,
I think a lot, Bill, about the
we're going to have a
article that you wrote
convergence of
back when you
both
were at
unhoused
LOMAG when I was
individuals
doing early street
with less
outreach,
shelter beds.
very,
I
very
know the
early in
RMV
COVID.
shelters coming
And
online
we were
soon.
out together
And we're going to have a
and we came
convergence
downtown
of
and we started to
unhoused
discover that,
families with
like,
kids,
actually what a
mostly
bunch of
women and
people needed
children,
was access to water.
who will
They didn't have
not be
access to
safe
water with all
based
the
on
public
these new
buildings
shelter rules.
closed. And, like,
And I would like us as a
nobody
council
thought about that.
to have an idea of what the
Like,
repercussions
it's
are
water.
expected from our
It's
shelter
one of your
providers
most basic
and from other
needs.
people who do this work. And I don't think we can have that conversation unless it's done in
Yeah.
a public setting.
The
So,
auditorium is just sitting there, but
Councilor
that's Jake
Ojeda,
Sanders'
I'm
pet
sorry I didn't have a
project,
chance to talk
so
to you
we
about
can't
this. I'm
touch
hoping
that.
that you could
That's going to be a
schedule
video game
public
arena.
health
We have
meeting,
to
an
preserve
emergency
that.
public health meeting, and we can
For
invite these
esports.
folks to come to the table.
Esports, baby.
That's
and
just
maybe with,
that's just
the
never
Ministry
gonna
of
happen.
Steel
No.
to
But
discuss
did you see that they
how
got like
the
another $1
heck
million
we are
from
going
the
to
city to
protect all
continue
these
like
families that are going to
doing
be
the architectural review?
left extremely
What a
vulnerable
fucking
as we head
scam.
into
It's just a
really
scam.
cold winters and extremely hot summers.
Okay, so we can get a motion to send it to public health. Okay, and might get a report too separately from the administration, from the health department. So we can take collectively on a roll call. Councilor King.
Chairman, yeah, I just wanted to comment on the motion.
Oh man.
Christian, speak into your microphone. We're losing you a little
Sorry.
bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hear me now? Okay.
Oh my God.
Mr. Chair, what's your motion? I didn't know.
Councilor King over here enjoying the launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
The way we're going to handle the housing issue. Good report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I certainly appreciate both motions and support them. I would also like to make a motion that we get the latest data from HHS on the populations that they're serving and the systemic barriers that are at play. Mr. Chairman, that's by way of a motion. I'd also like to make a motion that we reach out, that the administration reaches out as well to Congressman McGovern and our other elected officials in Congress, because what we see right now in the city is an uptick in folks who are unsheltered.
Mo,
an
I'm just gonna
uptick
say it.
in visually
Looks a little bit
people
like
holding their
the new
bags,
version of the Penguin on HBO.
carts and carrying them down. And,
Looks a little bit
what
like
we
that.
have going on here is that the state is essentially
Somebody's got to teach Mo about
giving the city
selfie angles. This is not the one you want, Mo.
That's crazy.
to
I
these
mean, on the one hand, I do
there's
I
only
do
so many
love to
funds the state
see
has.
a guy just
If
not
we're
give
not
a fuck how they
assisted
look.
as a municipality
I mean, that I
on all
do
levels
respect
of
that.
government,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
But
we are
man,
going to be at an
this is
even
tough to
heightened
watch
crisis.
right now.
Jowls for
Have to have
days.
federal support on this. We've seen is that, in my opinion, is that the state
And
is doing what they can with a
vertical.
lot of monies that they have.
Yeah,
certainly there's
we can't see a ceiling fan, but we can see its shadow.
as leaders on any level of government.
It's
However, there's only so much money in the
Like
pot.
he knows
and we need
at
additional
least
support.
that he's on the big
Encourage the city
TV
managers, not by way of motion.
looking like that.
Actually, I would like a report back on all grants.
luckily, I mean, Councilor Ojeda is going to get us more TVs. This could be on as many as 6 or 7 TVs in council in a year or two.
It's gonna be like Sports Center in there. It's gonna be like Joe Petty's gonna be like John Madden marking up city reports.
Opportunities, Mr. Chairman.
And then we're gonna take the money from the fund for textbooks, and we're gonna put that into the DIF district, and then Polar Park, boom, bang, see, bing, bang, boom, it pays for itself. Yeah.
Definitely need a whole screen with just the betting lines from DraftKings.
Oh my God, that's how we secure our financial futures. We get into keeping books on municipal government so people can bet on it.
I'm not a sports bettor. I'm not confident in betting on a lot of things. I could wait betting on city council. I feel very confident in that.
I would I take the over under on a lot of things, like with surefire confidence.
Councilor Bergman.
Number one, Kate Toomey saying "we" when she talks about the police department. That is absolute
Ojeda.
Yes.
Councilor Pasillo.
Yes.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
Yeah, Candy Merrill Carlson's going to say that she rises, Mr. Chairman.
I rise, Mr. Chair. Mo Bergman is going to say that he rarely gets up a second time to speak.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
When he gets up a second time to speak. Wow, motion to adjourn.
Councilor Bergman.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They didn't do anything.
Let's go, baby.
Why even bother meeting?
Councilor Ojeda.
Yes.
So no tax classification.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
No tax classification, no city manager contract.
Mayor Petty.
It's
They tried to sneak that one in, I think. Marco would not let them.
Did they vote on that? No.
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 Wow. We 1,000% worked harder than they did tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I had to play the whole national anthem. Yeah, see, so I was working hard, but you guys picked probably the most perfect meeting of any of the meetings to volunteer to come and be on this program, because usually we're just getting cooking right now, and it's not until 10, 11 o'clock at night we're clawing our eyes out waiting for this fucking horror show to be over. Just watching the fucking Thunderdome of personal grievances play out in front of the public.
I'm so happy I got a training wheels night. I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah, it was fun. There's really nothing to take away from this meeting. Anybody have any takeaways? Because I don't.
Nope, just more crooked Attell.
Yeah. Crooked Attell's gonna. Whoa, this is a new angle, Travis. We have a new streaming service.
Yeah, trying something different.
You checking yourself?
This is what I learned. I learned how to film like. No, I learned how to film like Mo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on. I have my phone, so I can really do it.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah. I'm on a laptop. I'm not going to be able to replicate it, unfortunately.
So yeah, Mo literally
get on my level, Robar.
He's just holding his cell phone in his lap. That's fine. But the only person who's ever going to get shit for not showing up. What were you going to say, Travis?
Sorry, Cambridge's been annoying us all stream. They want to know about your tiny human. Neil, how is your tiny human?
Been annoying us.
Good. She's bringing home a steady stream of respiratory viruses. Got a new one going today, cooking. Don't know what this one is, but we're going to find out.
Damn, that sucks. Just getting. Damn.
But other than that, good. She's got more words than I can count now.
That's awesome.
More words than me.
That's great. If she wants to be a writer, you're gonna shake her like in Billy Madison. Don't you ever say that.
Don't do that.
Don't you ever say that.
I'm gonna ask her if she eats pieces of shit for breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Teach her to say that in school. Yeah. Well, Neil, we miss you. We miss you in journalism. I don't know if you miss it yourself, but
sometimes
the loss has been felt.
I mean, that the Polar Park thing, that was literally like the thing that everyone was like saying was gonna happen, but they were all saying that it wasn't gonna happen, and it happened.
Right.
It's like
right.
driving me crazy, like to like see that happen and
Yeah.
not be able to do something. Yeah.
Right, because that's like everyone who took even a little look at that deal was like, this is going to fall apart in a couple of years, and they're going to try to walk it back in a weird way. And you know how they walked it back? I haven't really written about this yet, but the line has shifted from, listen, we never said it was going to pay for itself every year. It's going to pay for itself over the course of it, but we never said it was going to pay for itself every year. I don't know why people got that idea. Right. So that's awesome. Just the slow retreat of the, it's going to pay for itself line until, we just don't do
until we pay for it.
Yeah. We just everyone skips 8th grade. They go from 7th grade to high school so we can pay for Polar Park.
It is very, very cool. You love to see it. No one could have ever predicted this. No one did predict this. There's certainly not dozens and dozens of people in the city who did, including myself. I'm a half-season ticket holder at Polar Park. I go to Polar Park.
Yeah, I went with you one time. It was sick.
This very much confounds people because they're like, how could you? It's like, well, it's here. I like baseball. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm paying for it anyway. But yeah, it's amazing when you make a plan where everything has to go absolutely perfectly for 30 years with no interruptions. I don't know. Sometimes things don't quite work out that way, it seems like.
God, I was watching it from the parking lot of the East Brookfield Courthouse because just life goes that way sometimes. But I wish we hopped on and streamed it. The WRA meeting last week was hilarious. Mike Angelini is the chair of the WRA. Him and Dennis Dowdle's attorney had like a shouting match where Mike Angelini was saying all of Madison Properties commitments that they haven't followed through on were a mandatory contractual obligation, and the attorney for Madison Properties just kept calling them all aspirational, and they wouldn't budge on that. Like the attorney for the developer was just like, listen, these are aspirational, and the developer's profit incentive is going to trump any deal. Also, no one wants office space, so I don't know why you're trying to build office space next to Polar Park.
That was a dead project from the moment that it was conceived, and everyone could see it. Really quickly, I'm going to shut up for a second, but I want to say System Nomad, $15 for a beer. Fuck you, Polar Park. You're absolutely right, but here's a little pro tip from that Robarge guy. Nips do not set off the metal detector, and you can just put them in your pockets, and security does not care. And a seltzer inside the game is $3 to $5. A soda, about the same amount. So, do with that information what you will.
Yeah. Also, it's not that hard to get beers in there either, but whatever. Didn't you have actually, I don't want you to say that out loud. You had a nice scheme. Never mind. We're not going to talk about that.
We won't talk about it out loud. I did have a nice scheme. My scheme was unfortunately broken, but let's just say that Polar Park at one point employed a new technology in their marketplace that was very you could bend the rules.
Yeah, we'll let people figure that one out. The nachos, though, at Polar Park, oh my god, those things fucking slap. Neil, if you were obligated, as you once were, to write a story about this city council meeting, what would your story be? Because that's what I'm thinking about right now, and I am torn. Not a whole lot to work with. Yeah. Yeah.
As boring as it might sound, it's
yeah, parking
it's just like,
minimums.
yeah.
It do be
I don't
important.
understand. Did that go to committee? It must have, right?
Yeah, I need to like I straight up was just not paying attention for a lot of that. So I need to like get the draft minutes. I think that it went to committee with some amendments to not talk about the parts that are important, including parking, which is hilarious. And I can't imagine Attell wouldn't put up a fight about that, but maybe everyone was just on the same page. They just want to get the fuck out of there today. But no, Nicole Apostolo did steal the show though with that. The criticism of that clause in the city manager's contract that
100%.
He
A
needs to
very
make.
legally valid criticism,
Right,
in my
right.
non-attorney opinion.
Yeah.
I just assumed that they were trying to make it less embarrassing for Batista when, some random police sergeant makes $600,000, beating him and the superintendent.
Oh, is the contract specifically say base salary? Wow. Wait, if it says like total compensation, then yeah, they're gonna have to pay Batista more than like the next police lieutenant to make $350,000. Wow, damn.
Better hope there's not a nurses' strike again.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
Or another Gaza resolution. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because that brought out 10 cops made at least $500 each off of that one. Man, I can't wait to write that story if they have to amend the city manager's contract to $360,000 a year because of a cop's overtime. But he definitely showed up for all of it. He definitely showed up for all of that overtime, for sure. We had an audit, and they didn't find any problems. So,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's all fine. Well, what do you say, guys? You wanna wrap it up there? I think that's good for today. Brian usually does this part, but thank you everyone for watching Worcestery Council Theatre 3000. And thank you to Neil and to Chris for coming on and hanging out with us. Thank you for everybody in the comments for hanging out with us as well. Subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to this Twitch channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can just give us money for free from Amazon. I don't really understand how Twitch works, but I think that's how it works. Give us a follow on Instagram. Camber, that is not nice. I am reporting you to the Office of Aggrieved Straight White Men, which is coming any day now under the new regime that we're under. The Office of Aggrieved Straight White Men will will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So
you will not make it to the promised land on the other side of the city council's metal detector bomb sniffing dog setup that is coming very soon.
Oh my god, imagine they get dogs for City Hall. That would be so sick. It's like 2 German shepherds at each entrance,
like children of men, just like
yeah. We are really heading closer to the children of men reality every day, which is cool. That's a good note to end on. All right, everybody, we will see you next Tuesday.
And two Tuesdays. They're off next week.
Later. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, see ya in 2 Tuesdays.